This is the world's first live, daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
I'm your lead anchor, Eric Restivo. I am joined tonight by anchors Jeff Oliverio, Cindy Brown, Dr. Bobby Huen, and Alex Morash. It's a celebrity roundtable tonight. This is a special broadcast of Queer News Tonight.
2024 has been one of the most dramatic for the LGBTQ community in history. So many stories Queer News Tonight has brought you in this year.
Combined, Hotspots Happening Out has brought you more than 2,500 stories about and for our LGBT community. We don't know yet what 2025 will bring.
There's fear over the transfer of power on January 20th, so we thought we would finish our year by looking back. Of those 2,500 stories, let's look at the top 24 stories of 2024.
This curated list is drawn from Queer News Tonight, The FayWhat Show, Queer God Squad, and Hotspots Magazine. This was what was important to all of us in 24 of 24.
Dive deep into this big LGBTQ story of 2024. I'm Eric Restivo, and let's queer up the top stories of the year. This is number 21 of 24. It is the election day. Let's check Trump's record on LGBTQ. This story was broadcast on November 5th, 2024, and was originally on the Queer God Squad. November 5th was certainly an important day for the country and especially for the LGBTQ community. It has been almost 2 months, but what this story had to say is still relevant.
Let's check Trump's record on LGBTQ. Today is Election Day, when the country chooses between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. Harris identifies as an LGBTQ ally and is part of an administration that restored queer protections that were removed by the Trump administration. But where does Trump stand on LGBTQ rights? Well, in 2012, he said he believed marriage should only be between a man and a woman, but that same-gender couples should have the same rights as married people. Separate but equal isn't really. But still, that's not as hateful as it could be. In 2016, he told LGBTQ people that he would fight for them. But did he? And in 2020, he appointed a gay man as acting director of national intelligence. That's pretty much it for anything representing friendliness toward queer folk. By contrast, in 2013, Donald Trump said again that he believed in traditional marriage between a man and a woman, or in his case, between a man and a woman, and then another woman, and then another woman. In 2016, he said he would appoint Supreme Court justices who would be willing to overturn marriage equality. That same year, he nominated anti-gay Jeff Sessions to be Attorney General, who as senator opposed expanding hate crime protections. Also in 2016, he appointed Betsy DeVos to be Secretary of Education. DeVos rescinded gender identity protections enacted by the Obama administration. In 2017, Trump appointed Roger Severino to lead the Civil Rights Office, where he rolled back LGBTQ protections. And still, in 2017, Trump tweeted that he would ban transgender people from the military. In 2018, he rolled back protections for transgender prisoners. In 2020, he created a rule that allowed homeless shelters to reject trans folk. Also in 2020, he nominated to the Supreme Court Amy Coney Barrett, who had been associated with an anti-queer hate group. And in 2020, 140 Trump staffers put together Project 2025, which equates transgenderism with porn and proposes to ban porn. The project also proposes eliminating terms such as equity, diversity, inclusion, gender awareness, gender sensitivity, reproductive health, reproductive rights, abortion, or sexual orientation from all federal regulations. In 2022, Trump praised Project 2025, and in 2024, he denied knowing anything about it. So, how would a second-term President Trump treat the LGBTQ community? Well, all we know for sure is how first-term Trump treated us. And that is frankly alarming. The Queer God Squad reminds you that if you haven't yet, please vote today. Well, that's all I've got. What have you two got?
Well, I'm officially subscribing to Queer News, Queer God Squad, because it's a great watch. To sum up, everything that was said was an incredibly valid point. They were acting on facts. Darrell was not speaking of anything that is not completely public knowledge. It's true. Scary public knowledge. Yeah. I think since then, J.D. Vance has publicly said that what is it? Regular gay guys will enjoy what we're doing, or normal gay guy trying to put the community against one another. There's just been more hate created within it all.
According to J.D. Vance, the normal gay guy, he means Peter Thiel.
Yeah,
and
right.
Maya Angelou said, "People will show you who they are.
Believe them.
Believe them the first time," and there is nothing to indicate that the second term will be any different than the first term. And we as a community need to be prepared for it. Nobody ever handed us anything that we have. Every single right that we have, every single benefit that the LGBT community has is because we worked for it, we fought for it, we built the bridges, we created consensus, and we made it happen. And it can roll back a little bit in these next 4 years, but the reality is that, here's another one. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. So we are all seeds. So let them do what they're doing, and we will do, what we've always done, and we will take care of each other.
No, I think that's important to especially mention that, we've never been handed anything.
Never.
I look at the last administration and this administration, and the incoming, the last administration, they had at least one prominent gay leader was given a more minor cabinet role, while Trump has actually nominated a gay man for one of the highest cabinet positions. And so it makes me wonder how much he's trying to divide us, but also who he's going to target and how, but also to remind the Democrats, the Republicans were more willing to give us the Treasury than the Democratic Party. What are you going to do for us next time? That's how you get people's vote.
And as we sit here on Christmas Eve, I can think of the Grinch.
Right.
Whose heart was touched by something and it made it grow, many sizes bigger.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
So hopefully Trump will be touched by the Christmas spirit.
And let's see what Santa brings him tomorrow morning.
We are bringing you a special presentation of the 24 biggest stories of the year we call the Top 24 of 24. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story of 2024. I'm Jeff Oliverio, and let's queer up the top stories of the year. This is number 20 of 24. Mama, kudos for saying that, for spilling. This story was broadcast on April 10th, 2024, and was originally on the FayWhat show. This year, the gay internet loved numerous memes, and one of them was, Mama, kudos for saying that, for spilling, from RuPaul's Drag Race Season 16. Let's find out how this meme went viral on RuPaul's Drag Race.
First, RuPaul's Drag Race never fails to deliver, and the recent episode of Season 16 gifted us with a meme-worthy moment. If you've been scrolling through queer social media lately, you've probably seen the phrase, Mama, kudos for saying that, for spilling, popping up everywhere. It all started when Queens Q and Plain Jane were tasked with presenting a seminar on drag herstory. During their prep, Q bravely shared her story journey as an HIV-positive individual, prompting Plain Jane's memorable response, and just like that, a new Drag Race meme was born. Mama, kudos for saying that, for spilling. What are we all talking about?
Well, if Faye's talking about it, I'm talking about it. But it was a very nice moment. Also, again, you kind of forget with all of the pomp and circumstance on RuPaul's Drag Race that it is a place for queer stories to be told in a way that is very unique. And I give kudos to the show for showing those moments.
Yes, and kudos to season 1 and the very first queen, Angina, to come out as HIV positive and to help spread awareness, and who really ran so that season 16 16 queens can feel comfortable enough to do the same thing. So shout out.
It was a great meme. I really hope that maybe in the future we do a listicle of all the wonderful RuPaul's Drag Race memes. Who can forget? Who can forget the Party City meme of, what was it, 2009?
Back to
Party City where you belong.
25 memes of 25.
Ooh, maybe next year.
There you go.
We are bringing you a special presentation of the 24 biggest stories of the year we call Top 24 of 24. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story of 2024. I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up the top stories of the year with number 19 of 24. With Omar Apollo stars Naked, with Daniel Craig in Queer. This story was broadcast on September 5th, 2024, and was originally on Queer News Tonight with Luca Guadagnino's Queer, was undoubtedly one of the most talked about LGBTQ films of 2024. The movie has been released already and is expected to be available for digital viewing on HBO Max after its theatrical run. Daniel Craig has been nominated for many awards. Let's take a look.
Omar Apollo stars Naked, with Daniel Craig in Queer. One of the most talked about movies of this year has to be the new film Queer, where singer Omar Apollo has a sex scene with Daniel Craig, aka James Bond. James Bond. The movie finally premiered this week at the Venice Film Festival. Queer stars Craig as William Lee, a 1940s American expat in Mexico City, obsessed with Eugene, who is played by Apollo. The film is based on William S. Burroughs' semi-autobiographical novel and has been hailed for Craig's career-defining performance. Omar is completely naked in most of the time that he is in the film.
Well, can I just say, talking about naked men, Merry Christmas, everybody. It's a party now.
Well, he was sure carrying a big gun.
Goodness.
Yeah, this movie has gotten a lot of attention. I think mostly positive. I haven't actually sat down and watched it in full yet, but I have seen a few separate scenes. We've been covering it here for a while now. And it definitely looks like it's done in a artsy, tasteful way when dealing with the more sensual scenes. Luca Guadagnino does a really great job navigating through the uncomfortable, so I love that.
By scenes, you meant clips on Twitter of the naked.
No, we've been reporting it. We've been reporting
I just heard
here.
they were on Twitter.
Real skinny.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, what I heard too was that in filming that Daniel Craig made everyone on the set feel extremely comfortable when dealing with things that maybe, a straight male actor doesn't always deal with in real life. So.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll watch it. I don't know.
Daniel Craig is nominated for some awards, nominated for Golden Globe, so I think it's a great
And I
representation of
can appreciate
storytelling.
a nice tight butt.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I think there will be more than one example of that in this film. We are bringing you a special presentation of the 24 biggest stories of the year we call the Top 24 of 24. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. We are looking back at the top LGBTQ news stories of the year from Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ and ally community, and we want to tell stories of our queer community.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Eric Restivo, and on behalf of these LGBTQ reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including, Jeff Oliverio, Cindy Brown, Dr. Bobby Huen, and Alex Morash, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ world, we wish you love, generosity, bravery while being transformative, and queer. From all of us at Hotspots Happening Out, we wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
And Happy Hanukkah.
And Happy Hanukkah. Good night.
Good night.